As soon as the shooting is taking place, we move in. We move in and we try to identify the guys that are involved, identify the reasons and the circumstances around them, and then try to bring logic into it and try to separate people. We even do what we call aggressive shadowing. If we see a guy that's so emotionally involved, one of us will connect ourselves to him and call him every 5 minutes, try to get around him every 2-3 minutes to try to get him on another path, another way of thinking.
Can you believe it? I'm still here. That's right, living inside this tent for 100 days from November the 20th to February 28th, bring to you the issues and awareness that you need to know about violence on the south side of Chicago, but also to raise as much money as we possibly can to build a community center on this much needed block called O Block. It's called O Block because it's named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The gangs picked up the O in his name and started calling it O Block. We decided we like the O, but we're going to change it to Opportunity Block. So we are so thankful to Fox for giving us the opportunity today to bring to you every day Rooftop Revelations, where I share with you my viewpoints, thoughts, and opinions on matters as it relates to Chicago and across America. Today, I have a very special guest to talk about just the issue of violence in Chicago and what we're doing in this community to solve it, and how we believe that this model can be a model for across America. So I want to welcome to Rooftop Revelations, Mr. James Highsmith.
Hey.
Highsmith, how you doing, man?
Fantastic.
So listen, let's jump right in. A lot of people may be asking, what is a violence prevention team? You know, and why does Project Hood, or why does the city of Chicago need a violence prevention team? So can you explain to our listeners, what is a violence prevention team?
Well, the violence prevention team is a team that is working directly on the street, boots on the ground, working with individuals that's most likely to shoot or be shot. Our main objective is we work by the public health approach, where we recognize violence as somewhat like a disease. And what we try to do is interrupt the transmission between violence being spread from one individual or from one group to another. In the process of doing that, we have a lot of different approaches. However, the most important thing is the vision of Project Hood, which is to change the whole narrative about violence. We recognize that most things are done by choice, and everyone in our community has a choice. However, they don't have that many options. So that limited their choice. Mm-hmm. What we're trying to do at Project Hood is broaden the horizon, or broaden the scope in regards to how many options we can give people that they can change the norm about which supports violence.
Right. So I know you serve as the director for the Project Hood Violence Prevention Team, but tell us a little bit about your team. Like, what's the makeup of it?
Well, I'm so grateful, and it's important that you ask that question, Pastor, because what it is that my particular team, or let me rephrase that, the team of Project Hood has put together is a team that is rooted with history and birth in the Woodlawn community. They have a background in the and the most important part about our team is that they are connected by blood. I have 5 individuals that are members of this team, an integral part of this team, who have lost their children to violence, to gun violence in particular. I have one individual who has lost, she's the most powerful, one of my most powerful outreach workers. She lost 2 sons to gun violence. 2, not 1, 2. I have another who have lost his daughter, who was less than 6 months old, in his arms, and was shot in his arms. Yes, we're connected by blood. They are so sincere about what they work because they got blood in the game. And that makes it more powerful and more personal.
So, Smith, so let me ask you this. So those individuals who work on the team, how do they stop the violence? How do they intervene? Because I heard you mention earlier that part of the team's mission is to intervene in these issues. But for a person who's listening and they're thinking, okay, how do they intervene with somebody to help stop them from being shot or retaliation? How does that work?
Well, Pastor, it's not really that complicated when you got individuals who grew up in the area, know the individuals who are doing this, and get into the cracks and crevices of the community where they get wind of situations and circumstances prior to them happening. I'm not talking about sporadic shootings or sporadic killings that it happens spur of the moment. I'm talking about things that build up from historical conflicts among groups, different things of that nature where individuals can come into it and put an input in to try to separate them, give them more logic, give them more options, give them more ideas about how we should not do that.
Right.
You know, but then in retaliation, we have a mechanism in place where we try to get our individuals as soon as the shooting is committed, as soon as the shooting is taking place, we move in. We move in and we try to identify the guys that are involved, identify the reasons and the circumstances around them, and then try to bring logic into it and try to separate people. We even do what we call aggressive shadowing. If we see a guy that's so emotionally involved, one of us will connect ourselves to him and call him every 5 minutes, try to get around him every 2-3 minutes to try to get him in on another path, another way of thinking.
Right, especially when it's retaliation thing.
Right, especially retaliation.
One of the things I want to talk about before we end is, I know you're working on something very special, and you're working on a truce, a gang truce. Can you explain what a gang truce is and why we need it in this community, and just tell us about what's going on?
Well, years ago, the gang truce is when two organizations, groups would decide not to shoot no more, try to get a peaceful thing. At this point, where there's so many shootings and so many violence are taking place, people lost their loved ones and different things, we're pushing towards what you call a non-aggression agreement. In other words, what that means is that we try to get these guys to say, hey, look, you stay on your side, they stay on their side. You know what I mean? Don't slide over there and don't slide over here. If we get them to agree to that, just that little simple thing right there, then we have an opportunity to move in to broaden it. We're broadening it by working with each one of these groups, put them in workshops. We got so many nonviolent workshops that we are putting together for these youngsters to sit down and talk this stuff out. Talk about why are you doing that? Do it actually make sense? So
the groups y'all been getting together, do you feel like that's working? Because I know it's a lot of different guys from a lot of different cliques that y'all got trying to come together. How is that working?
Right now, we're taking baby steps, but right now we done had a lure in the shootings. We're working with them, we're bringing them together. We haven't brought them together face to face, but we're working with them by working with each and every one of them in their own groups, and we build it. And I'm very, very optimistic that this is going to take place, and we're going to have a more calm and more tranquil summer this summer.
Yeah, that's the goal, to have a calm and tranquil summer, because the truth of the matter is, in Chicago, there's been a lot of violence, a lot of shootings, and so we need violence prevention teams. We need people with boots on the ground. So thank you for the work you do. Thank you for the leadership you provide. Thank you for consistently caring about what goes on in the Woodline and training all these brothers and sisters to do the work. I appreciate it.
Pastor, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. Listen, it's been a blessing. I always say, God bless you, God bless America, and thank you for tuning in to Rooftop Revelations. And until tomorrow, peace.